Rebellions are built on hope.
And welcome to another episode of Radio Rebellion Star Wars podcast. I'm your host, Alberto Veteran, and look who's back. My co-host, LT, One Kenobi. Hopefully you guys didn't see that little mess up right as we started, but it's fine. That was what always happens. But welcome to another Star Wars Saturday. Actually, a Star Wars birthday, May 25th, 47 years of Star Wars. What the hell you doing?
All right.
Yeah, I forgot about it. People have been posting it all day, so.
Happy birthday, Star Wars.
Yeah, you believe it. 47 years of Star Wars, like 41 of Return of the Jedi, 5 years for Solo. It's a lot today.
25 for Phantom Menace.
There you go, and 4.5 for us here.
Yeah.
On Radio Rebellion. I think it's been a while. I mean, we took a week off, and then you went on vacation last week. But you're here. Finally, we're getting to talk about the Acolyte, like full-on speculation. We're about a week and a half away. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about it, but I'm glad that you're here so we can have a good discussion and put our tinfoil hats on and just see what happens.
Oh, I should have gotten my Speculate Responsibly shirt. Oh, I feel naked now.
I know. I have my Inquisitorial shirt you really can't see, but
Ooh.
talking about dark side users, so we'll see. All right, for everyone out there that's joining us for this first time, thank you for being here. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss any new episodes when they drop. Hit that thumbs up button and the little bell for notifications. You know, you watch YouTube, you know what everyone says. Comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And if you're listening to the audio podcast, thank you also. Leave us a rating and a review. And it keeps us growing and having fun stuff. And we can invite guests. Hopefully, I mean, we're still there. I just got to get the final date for Tessa Gratton to be here. Oti, how's your reading? How's the Fire Storm going?
I don't know if I told you that I left it in Florida. And
I think so. Yeah, you told me that 2 weeks ago. Maybe you got it back.
And when my girlfriend was coming, I was like, hey, bring me my book. And she's like, yeah, sure. And then the day before she came here, I called her and she's like, I'm packing, I'm busy. And I was like, yes, I know, please pack my book. And she's like, I don't know if I have time for that. I was like, just grab it from the table and put it in.
Right
I don't know if I have time. She didn't bring it.
She didn't bring it. Well, it's mid-June. I don't have a date. Last I heard, it's mid-June most likely. But
I mean, if it's June 15th, I won't be here. So
no, I don't know. I'll say, just send me questions. Whatever comes to your mind.
Whatever. If I'm not here, I'm not here. It's fine.
No, I don't know. don't have dates. It probably won't be a Saturday. It'll be some day of the week, so we'll figure something.
It's a shame because I have a lot of questions for Tessa Grant.
Well, start writing them down and send me some.
Okay.
If you're not here, if you haven't read any of her books apart from her Phase 2.
From Phase 2.
Yeah. And Oti, before we start and see who's on the chat and all that, last week, because you weren't here, we're talking about 10 years of Star Wars. And you sent a bunch of comments on Twitter, your thread, and I forgot to mention them. And I had made a graphic and everything, so I'm just gonna give you a couple of minutes. It's right there. So all these 10 years of Star Wars thoughts. You talk about The Last Jedi, The High Republic, Obi-Wan Kenobi. And give me all that Star
Wars.
I had everything ready and I forgot about it. I'm sorry, but you're here today. Just real quick, some of your thoughts these past 10 years.
I mean, it's funny because I love Star Wars before Disney. And I think that was my last tweet. Like, Star Wars has always been in my life since I was a kid. But it's been because of this Disney era. Regardless of what people think of the quality, but it's been that process for me to fully understand why I cling to Star Wars as a franchise, as a story I like.
Yeah.
And I'm very satisfied with the handling of it. It hasn't always been smooth sailing. Sometimes we as fans are like, what are they doing? But I don't know. I think right now we're in a great moment for Star Wars, even though it feels like it's kind of gone because there are no movies. But for the storytelling and the evolution of the franchise, I think it's been very solid. I mentioned a couple of stories like in that tweet, and then I remembered I totally forgot about Rebels, which is one of my favorite Star Wars things. So I talked about Last Jedi. For me, that movie like challenged everything I believe in Star Wars, and I freaking love it. It's my favorite Star Wars movie. Like everything, how it handled like everything, I loved it. Of course, the High Republic, like now it's like turning into this TV show and probably more to come. Already been in video games, like, but it was like that thing I wanted to see from Star Wars when they acquired. Like, I remember those old Republic trailers and everything for the games, and I wanted to see that in the on the big screen. Now we have it in the little screen and the books, but it's been very satisfying so far. I also talked about Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love that show. I don't give a shit about the budget or the volume or anything. I love the story. I've always said, like, I've had that story in my head since I left the theater for Revenge of the Sith, and it lived up to everything I wanted from it, and it gave me more. Like, young Leia is one of my favorite ever. Like, that surprise, not knowing that was going to happen, and how Reva reflects Obi-Wan and Anakin, and then that confrontation between Anakin and Kenobi, which ends up being very sad because it's like Obi-Wan's like, oh, this pathetic life form just sitting there.
Yeah.
And of course, the last episodes of Ahsoka just blew my freaking mind. Like, it took Star Wars for me to another time. It literally took us to another galaxy.
Yeah.
And it was. I think it expanded what Star Wars can be, but also reminding us, like, hey, Star Wars is a story for kids and it's a fairy tale. So I don't know. I'm very grateful for these 10 years, and hopefully we get 10 more.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I echo everything that you said, but it's funny you saying it kind of been not slow, but yeah, Star Wars hasn't been in the theaters for a while, but it also feels right now like it's starting again, right? Because we know the movies are coming. In 2026, we have the first ones. 2 more that are coming out, and with the Acolyte kind of bringing the High Republic now into a major focus, kind of feels like the start of a big build-up for Star Wars for that push for the next 10 years. So I'm so happy for all of it.
Yeah, I really hope Acolyte is huge. Like everyone is talking about it, and I hope then that drives us to Skeleton Crew, which is at least good enough, to keep the conversation going to next summer. Oh no, wait, the next movie isn't next summer, right?
No, it's 2026. So we still have. Well, there has to be Ahsoka season 2. I think should come out 2025. I don't think you wait till 2026. For Ahsoka season 2. That's just because they did.
Do we get Mando season 4?
I don't know. That's gonna be difficult, but who knows? We'll see. And did you see? Real quick,
but we have Celebration in April. I really think that needs to be huge. Like, maybe not announcements, but give us trailers or something.
Will be sometimes revisions, season 3, but there has to be something for the movies. There has to be, even if it's just for Mando and maybe the cast for the Rey movie. Bring John Boyega out. Just Rey saying, Daisy Ridley saying, yeah, of course I would love to work with
I hate
John.
myself. Could you imagine Oscar Isaac, young John Boyega, and Daisy Ridley walking out on stage and being like, we're all coming back?
Yeah, no, we'll die. That will hold us till 20.
That would hold us until, and Mark Hamill shows up also.
Oh man,
it's episode 10, baby.
Yeah, just keep it going. Who cares? Oh, no, and Celebration is gonna be something, but there's still like 10 months away. Skeleton Crew, real quick. You saw the first image, some packages.
The box of the whatever.
Sure. All right, Audrey, we gotta
kids.
start. Cool kids. Who's out there today in the chat?
Ooh, okay, we have Dale. Hello there, Dale. Brennan is here, or maybe not. He's saying that he's avoiding speculation. He hasn't watched the trailer for Acolyte, so good for you. I hope you stayed though. Alan is saying hello from Disneyland. Alan, I don't expect you to be anywhere else.
Yeah, it'll be a surprise if you say hello from my home or somewhere else.
Oh, Brennan was supposed to
I would say Brennan was in the chat last week, and he had just come back from his trip to Galaxy's Edge. He made his own lightsaber, so I want to see it. He posted some great pictures of it, so looks great.
Alan had a margarita and he's vibing. Good for you. And Alan is saying that he will be in Japan. Awesome. I wanted to go, but I will not be there.
Should we? Well, I don't know how time slots are gonna work. Should we try to hook up Alan to join us live from Japan?
Oh, like we did with poor Amy, who called us like, I've been up for 48 hours.
Oh yeah, poor. But she was a champ. She was there for like almost the whole show. And the year before, we had Lauren calling once.
Oh, right.
So we gotta follow that streak. So maybe Alan, we might have to see if we can get you from the
Alan
other
is our
corner of the world.
correspondent.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead with Star Wars on TV. If I can find myself, I move stuff around. Star Wars on TV.
Star Wars on TV.
There you go, man.
I just want to show something very quickly. I have this piano GarageBand app open on my phone, and I'll leave it open, and I'll use it at some point. Just tease that.
I have an idea, but we'll see. When it comes out, I'll say, of course it was, but we'll see. All right, but right now, it's all about the Acolyte, speculations, what to expect. We don't know. We're going to spend the next 40 minutes trying to speculate on the Acolyte, a show that we've been talking here for about 4 years now, or 3 years whenever this was announced. We've been extremely excited for this show.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. We're both High Republic fans since the beginning. Again, nothing. If you just got into High Republic now, great. And if you don't care about the High Republic, we're excited about the Acolyte, also great.
Awesome.
But for people that have been just following this era for so long, it's here. Finally, we're 10 days away or whatever. It's on a Tuesday, which is kind of weird. Just pick a date. Sometimes it's Wednesdays, sometimes it's Fridays. Now we're back to Tuesdays.
I think there's still... I'm not convinced streaming will exist in a couple of years. And I think they're just experimenting.
I mean, that's fine. And this is just things to talk about because the general public probably doesn't care. But when Star Wars came out on TV, I think with Mando, it was first on Wednesdays. Then they tried Fridays. They went back to Wednesday with Bad Batch, and now we're going to Tuesday. Was Ahsoka Wednesday? Maybe?
No, I think it was Fridays, then Wednesdays with Loki. Then they left it on Wednesdays, and because Loki was the one that made the time shift. Then Ahsoka put it on Tuesday. What? I don't care.
It's just it's stupid stuff to focus on. But all right, let's start. Let's go ahead and start. And my first question is crawl. Are we going to start with a crawl for the Acolyte? We basically got one for Ahsoka. Filoni is now this executive director, whatever his creative director, whatever his title is. Do you think he brings that back to the Acolyte, which seems to be the perfect project to put a crawl on, to explain everything about the High Republic for people that don't know anything about it?
I think it kind of needs a crawl.
Yeah.
Because I'm expecting they're dropping us at a moment in time that actually no one knows about, because we don't know how the High Republic conflict 100, 200 years beforehand ends. So everyone needs context on what we're about to see.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's gonna have a crawl. Do you think it's gonna be fanfare crawl, or do you think it's gonna be Ahsoka?
I'm gonna say it's gonna be like Ahsoka. If we get the fanfare, that's gonna be safe for the Mandalorian Grogu movie. I think that's gonna be for the theaters. I think the way they do Disney Plus with the little helmets and the Star Wars kind of logo, then we'll get the crawl. I don't think there'll be a fanfare. Dude, if we get the fanfare, you'll hear my screams from here. But same as you, we need a crawl, even if it's to say 100 years before Emperor Palpatine or before the Sith existed or whatever, not existed, but before the Sith kind of made themselves public. They need to tell us where we are.
Yeah.
And the crawl is a perfect way to do this. Or if you just want to kind of recap something from the High Republic, or at least the era in itself, let's do it now. Makes sense.
I'm gonna go contrary to you. I think
what surprise.
Leslie Henland is a massive Star Wars fan. And I'm just thinking as a massive Star Wars fan myself. I think that if I were making a Star Wars project, I would go to Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni's office, and I would tell them, like, I don't care what we put in this or what you forced me to put in this. I'm putting a crawl with the John Williams theme.
Okay.
So
this is the first thing you write, right? As a Star Wars fans, we all have written crawls. This is the first thing that you'll go and just type it out.
I'm sure she wrote one, and writing a Star Wars scroll is not easy. So I think she went to that office and she was like, "I wrote it. I'm putting it in the movie."
We wrote a Star Wars
scroll with the Dave Filoni thing. I
don't know. Yeah. I mean, it's fun. I just put Dave Filoni there as he wants to follow up on George Lucas's steps, but it makes sense that it can also come from Leslie Headland. We've seen through the interviews how big a fan she is of the franchise.
I'll say like 99% we got a crawl, regardless of how it is. Sure. 1% we get David Tennant and Catherine Kate like explaining what's happening.
You imagine just people there. I forget her name, or that actress playing Vernetra Rowe. Just Vernetra Rowe in character, just explaining. Well, actually, in the High Republic, when I was 16, I didn't know how to fly. But all this happened.
And there was Emery Kenteros.
Eating his noodles out from the carts.
Oh, Emery.
All right, so I sent a couple of comments in the chat. What are they saying?
Oh, give me 1 minute. Alan is saying that it's going to be 4 p.m. when celebration starts, like in the U.S. Like, Alan, I took the whole weekend off. I took Friday and Monday already because I want to be ready. And don't worry, we'll be here. We'll be here. No matter the time. Let's see. I'm saying that if the books and comics get a High Republic crawl, then so can the Acolyte. That's true. Yeah. I mean, but like that's been a tradition. Like every literature that we gets a crawl. Okay, whatever. That's it. Dale was analyzing time.
We need all the clocks in all the movies when you go to the.
We got all the time zones.
All the time zones. So we've been talking a little bit about, well, this happened during the High Republic, what happened 300 years ago. Do you need to know anything about the High Republic to enjoy the Acolyte? Do you think we're getting any major, apart from obviously Vernetra Rowe, any major High Republic connections, name drop? Are they mentioning Markion Row? Are they mentioning the Nile, the Great Disaster? Do you think we're getting any overt?
Okay. I want to start this by saying you do not have to read the High Republic to understand what's going on. Like, absolutely not. You should because it's phenomenal. No, but like this show was pitched before the High Republic was a thing. So it was like retroactively fitted into that because it made sense. So I wanted to start by saying that. That said, though, I think it's very possible we get a couple lines of dialogue or maybe imagery or something that's enough for us High Republic fans to be like, oh my god, that's that. Or a
statue of Lina So
in the background, or with the Tygons things.
Just as they walk into that temple or something, that Senate building, there's a
or there's a portrait of Lina So with Stellan, but I don't I don't think like I think it's gonna be more in the background, less obvious, because I don't think I think it'll be the kind of thing that we are like, oh, this is that. And casual fans are like, oh, yeah, I'm not really thinking about that. That's what I wanted to get to.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Thinking more kind of obvious mentions, I don't think we'll get any. Like, well, do you remember with the Nile attack 200 years ago? I don't think we're getting something like that. Oh, the Path of the Open Hand. And that we'll talk about that with the witches and Modernicea later. But I don't think we'll get anything too obvious, so kind of wink. Leslie Headland has already said that apart from Vernestra, we shouldn't expect for season 1 any of those High Republic characters or new characters to come out or be in the show. But do you think we'll get any classic characters that we know, either Yoda, Yaddle,
Okay.
Yaddle Poof, that we know they're in the High Republic. They've been on the books. They're not new, so they might show up. Yoda's kind of the easy one. And I'm not a Yaddle fan. I'm a Yaddle fan in the High Republic. And in the
Have
Living
Bryce
Force,
Dallas Howard reprise her role.
yeah, I think I would love to see Yaddle. See a younger Yaddle show up. Kind of just walking or saying hi to Vernestra or something. Do you think we'll get one of those characters that we know are in the High Republic, but we've already met them?
I think so.
Yeah.
For me, like, there's a sense that, oh, I don't want to see Yoda again. He's been in everything.
Yeah.
But like, there's another side, like, why wouldn't he be there?
Mhm.
And yes, High Republic did this thing where he's on a sabbatical somewhere at some point. But I mean, they're in the council. I don't know how much time we're gonna spend in Coruscant, but I would expect them to be around. And if this is like a big thing that's going on, I would expect them to be involved.
Yeah.
If on the first episode we get like, we're not telling the council, it's gonna be like, oh, they're not showing up.
Just walking as the doors are closing. It was that green spot over there.
Everything
I
starts
want
like
some-
outside the council meetings. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't believe Master Yoda said that. Like, where is he?
Oh man, I would love to see someone else that isn't Yoda, but it's like doing a movie or a show during the Clone Wars and not showing Anakin or something. It's like, yeah, they should be there. It's like it makes sense for Yoda to be there. Give me someone else, but it makes sense that it's Yoda. So I'll be okay.
If
Give me someone else.
the thing is, for me, it's like it falls into a trap. Like, you would have to explain why Yoda isn't there.
Yeah.
So like, just whatever, put him there like for a second. So I'm like, okay, he's around. And again, thinking as Leslie Hetland, as a massive Star Wars fan, she's probably like, wait, Yoda's alive at this point? Yep. Okay, he's in my show.
Just one scene in the council chambers with all the masters. Will be Yoda, Yaddle, Yaddle Proof, and a bunch of unknown. And they're just there for a 2-minute scene. That'll be crazy. And then it connects all the different eras together.
That would be perfect because A, it makes sense for it to happen. B, you get it all out of get it all out of the way at the same time. And C, it's cool.
Yeah. That's the main one. And
it's gonna be like a moment.
Yeah, them talking to Vernestra, who has been around all of them for 100 years or more. She's a master at this point, obviously. Just give us that scene, a quick scene in episode 2 or 3 or whatever, and let's move out of the way. It'll be great. All right, so let's get into the show. We've seen, I don't know, have you seen everything that they've thrown out, all the trailers, all the clips?
No, I have not. Like, I stopped checking them out after the second trailer.
Okay.
Like, sometimes they pop up and I'll watch it. Like, for example, the one with the light whip, I've only seen the light whip. I have not seen like the teaser thing where it's attached to.
All right. All right.
Did I tell you what happened to me in Phantom Menace?
No, I don't know what happened on your Phantom Menace show.
I'll briefly tell the story. I went to see the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace. The poster on the entrance had to stay for at the end for the Acolyte. The movie ended. We all waited for the after credit. No Acolyte thing. And there was this poor woman who was cleaning the movie theater as everyone waited. And everyone was like, what happened to the Acolyte trailer? And she's like,
what?
It was like the last showing of the day. So it was maybe a little bit after midnight at that point. And she's like, I'm just cleaning. I was like, when did they put the Acolyte thing?
Don't you work for Lucasfilm? Where's my Acolyte?
She was like so confused. She was like, I'm just cleaning the popcorn. Like,
just cleaning your mess.
Yeah, and at that point, like at the theater, the only person there is like the one who's gonna lock the doors after we leave. So it was like, just get the hell out of here.
Yeah, the projection is left hours ago. There's no one to.
Oh, look who's here.
Who's here?
Lauren has dropped by.
Lauren.
What I expect to see from the Acolyte is another great addition to the Star Wars story. That's a very great PC answer, Lauren. Tell me those details. What do you want to see? Speculation.
You know what? Now that Lauren's here, she reminded me. I tweeted out yesterday, making a list of possible guests. And surprise, a bunch of people say, hey, can I be one of those guests? So I started making an official list. And of course, Lauren was one of them. And of course, Lauren will have you here. We just gotta figure out dates.
Yep.
I got like 5 or 6 different guests already. I don't want to say line up because we don't have dates for them. Bunch of cool people, some new friends and some old friends. So we'll be new friends, you say?
Embarrassing.
All right. So I think when we talked about the second trailer, I think that's the last time we talked about the Acolyte here. We both were kind of in the same mind frame that Master Indara, Carrion Moss, is going to be the Jedi that dies and kind of pushes this investigation forward. You're still thinking that's the way that this goes in that scene that we've all seen already, the big battle.
Yeah, I think that's how it's gonna play out. I think she's gonna be like the inciting incident to everything.
Mm-hmm.
I did see that thing where May's like, it wasn't me, like the fugitive thing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to that.
That's the big one. That's where my tinfoil hat is coming on, and I'm gonna debunk all the twin theories out there.
Oh shit! Sorry. Did you send me all the questions? Because
I think I added a few.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
you got nervous.
You got questions for me, so we'll see.
Nah, I kind of think you're gonna cross them out, but let's go.
We'll see. Just jump in. So, what's interesting to me, and it goes into everything else I'm gonna talk about with May and the supposed twin. Both Master and Dara in that clip, or in that first fight scene, and also in the one of the fight scenes with Master Soul, both of them ask, "Who trained you?" I think, didn't we train you? Like, didn't you come to us? We took you in as a Jedi, so I think that comes into play for something I'll be asking about later. But
like, maybe she doesn't know it's May, or maybe she didn't know May.
I thought that when it was just Master Indara, because I think there's different outposts, which is very High Republic. There's different Jedi outposts, and I want to see that. That's going to be, again, another nod to the High Republic. All those Jedi outposts spread across the galaxy.
By the way, Mo's here. She can't stay for long. She's in Oregon. Hi, Mo.
Happy birthday, Mo. Her birthday was a couple days ago. So, as we go, let's just jump into May and everything that's going on. I didn't kill her, or it wasn't me. Is she a twin? Because the captions had someone else's name. I think OSHA was the name, which is, come on, that's health and safety. But I know you haven't seen all the newer clips, but there's a clip that they show that's May fighting Master Saul, which is a great fight scene. And in that scene, and also on her fight with Indara, before she pulls out her knives, I noticed this like yesterday, and that's why I started adding questions. She goes for their lightsabers first before she
has it in. It's in their like, how do you say that, belt?
Yeah, in their belt, in their holster.
I did not notice they had a lightsaber.
So both Indara has a lightsaber, and they show it both in slow motion when she goes for the lightsaber, and then does the same thing for Saul, goes straight to the lightsaber, and when it doesn't work, that's when she pulls out the knives.
Oh, I thought you said May had a lightsaber and they went to get it, but then took out the knives.
No, May doesn't have a lightsaber.
So they reach out for. Oh, that's cool.
So this is when I start now just going everywhere with my speculations. After I talked a couple of weeks ago, then I posted, I don't think that May is the one that killed Indara. I think someone else killed her, and then she's trying to find out who the killer is to clear her name and find out what's going on, but she's been blamed for it, obviously. I think for either the witches or this dark Sith or dark side user has her collecting lightsabers. She's trying to get the lightsaber from the Jedi to either remove this weapon from them, this kind of identity, or maybe she's been sent to kill Jedi and bring back the lightsaber as evidence, but she just wants to get the lightsabers and get out of there. Because to me, it's weird that on both of those fight scenes, in slow motion, they show her going straight for the lightsabers. I think she doesn't want to kill them. Maybe that gives her.
I mean, I don't know about that. Because that's like a very specific theory. Like, that's what's actually going on. Maybe it is. I have no idea.
Yeah. No, that's why we're here, just to make things
But maybe
up
she's
and see.
reaching out to the lightsaber just to have the upper hand and have that weapon.
Yeah, it could be. I don't think so, but it could be.
Interesting.
Interesting. What's interesting, let's just spend time talking about this twin theory. So even before that clip came out, that supposedly the captions just spoiled the whole twist. Everything's now, why are we even watching the show? I had seen some people saying, oh, maybe there's a twin. And that could be fun. Even if there is a twin, it could be fun if one of them is force sensitive, the other is not, or whatever is going on. Just in that sense first, why do you think that this twin theory it's where we're going, or do you think it might be something else?
I like the theory. I don't know if it's what they're going for, but I like it. I think it goes back to the roots of Star Wars, the twin thing, like
Sure.
Luke and Leia, of course. So I don't know. I think it's a very, very cool idea. And I think it lends itself for a fun story because some people will be like, wait, why didn't you talk about your sister when you were in the Order? Like,
Yeah.
Are you making this up now? Like, so I don't know.
All right. There's no twin.
You think there's no twin?
No.
Okay.
It wouldn't be the first time that trailers spoil something or that the captions spoil something. And I don't work in people that do captions. I don't know how that works. But I believe that someone has to go to whoever's transcribing the audio and say, okay, so this character says this, and this character is the one that's talking here. These are the names. Why, if this is the big reveal, why you tell that to the people that's putting in the captions? So yeah, just put that Osha does this and May does the other, and that's a big.
What if it's revealed like in the second episode and it's not the big twist? You're assuming it's a big twist. Maybe it's not.
Again, yeah, that's what we're here. We're just assuming the same thing we did.
Or maybe May is convincing everyone that she has a twin, and the big twist is that there's no twin.
There's no twin. It's May all along. She's playing both.
Yep.
It is May all along. This is my big tinfoil hat theory.
Okay, go for it.
Go
for the
So I think we know that Saul took May as a young person to be trained as a Jedi. I think that she doesn't pass the trials, or is not as force sensitive as they think, and she doesn't, like I said, move on to be a Jedi Knight. And she stays in Coruscant, maybe stays in the temple, just doing other work. This is something that we've seen in recent Star Wars books, that even if you don't pass the Jedi trials, they don't send you away. You can still stay in the temple or around it, just doing odd jobs. And I think that's what happens. I think that she doesn't pass the trials, and that scene that we see of, oh, I didn't do it, that's a couple of years before the actual story of the Acolyte. She has a shorter hair. She doesn't have the longer braids. She's wearing kind of this pilot's uniform or just a service uniform. And then that's that Ahsoka kind of wrong Jedi moment where she's being accused of something that she didn't do. She's not being accused right there of killing Jedi. That's not it for me. I think she's been accused for something else, and that's when she leaves. And then goes back and reunites with Mother Anisea, the witches, and that family that she had before Master Saul came and took her. I think before that, that's when she's called Osha. And when she goes back to Mother Anisea, they baptize her as May with a different name. Because at no point in the trailers or anything we hear the name May. Even if you go to Star Wars Databank, they don't say May was a Jedi. They just say she has to deal with something for her past. And then now, as May, she's trying to figure out who's killing Jedi to try to get her name back, or kind of.
Okay.
It wasn't me before, and I'm not the one doing this. I'm trying to find information. And that's why I think it's the same person, just at different timelines, or different time periods, I should say.
I think that's a pretty solid theory, Alberto. For all the shitty theories you have, that's pretty good.
I only had one good one for the Bad Batch, so don't put your money on anything I say today. But
Yeah, no, but I actually like that. I think
yeah,
it makes sense with Star Wars. Star Wars always plays around with names and what does
mhm,
changing your name mean. So
yeah,
it wouldn't be a first here. So I like it. I still like the twin thing. I think
okay.
maybe a little bit more, but again, I don't have a lot of stock in theories. Like I just
Oh yeah.
want to see the freaking show and learn what's happening.
Hmm.
So that's where I'm at least. I will not die on any hill of is there a twin or is it they're not a twin.
I mean, at this point, if we die on any hill, we shouldn't be doing this. So like, just sit back and enjoy the show. But it's fun. It's fun to talk about this stuff. And the
Oh, of
twin
course.
thing, it's still great. If it's
Mm-hmm.
something, who was it? I don't know. That compare it to the mother in Phase Two, and what's her name, Oberon, the Jedi. Because they were not twins, they were sisters. One of them
Mm-hmm.
went to become a Jedi. The mother wasn't taken. She was still force sensitive to an extent. So it can still
Flanger.
play with that theme. And then
Yeah.
of course with Luke and Leia going forward. So it still can be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I like mine better.
Yeah.
We'll see.
No,
We'll
it's a
see.
good theory.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I take us everything that not everything, but we first a lot of times Leslie Helen says, it's not what you think. The story is not what you guys think. It's gonna be there's some surprises, but maybe a surprise and it's something totally different. It will still be. So talking about I'm just gonna call it the path of this coven of witches. What are your thoughts on Mother Anisea and what's going on over there? Because I know you didn't see it, and I don't know if I should spoil what happened in one of those clips that we got. Maybe it's not a clip, so it's not a spoiler. Sorry if you didn't watch it. So we know when, at least it looks like, when they're picking up May for the first time to take her to be a Jedi, that one of the Jedi's, his eyes turn black. What's his name?
It's
Wait, I
Tom
wrote it.
Baratheon.
Yes. I did. Torbin. There we go. Torbin is, yeah, freaking kid that just kills himself in Game of Thrones. So Torbin's eyes go black. He falls to his knees. And then in this other clip that I came out a couple of days ago, looks to be the same scene, and it's Wookiee Jedi Kelnaka taking a lightsaber swing to another Jedi, which I don't think if it's Master Sword. He jumps up and his lightsaber is on also. So I think in this Coven of Witches can manipulate Force users. I think that'll be a cool thing to see, because we know also from those trailers, like the Jedi are not the only ones with the Force. They just use it to kind of accumulate power. It'll be interesting to see another Force sect out there. You think we're getting another Force sect, I guess?
Oh, for sure. Like when you bring witches into a fold, like I
Hmm,
think that's where it's going.
I guess.
So definitely, regarding like what I think about them, the answer is I don't think about them. Like I honestly have no theories regarding this Mother Anisea figure, or the Coven of Witches. I honestly haven't thought that much about them. Like I think it's cool that we're getting them. I'm excited to
Yeah.
learn more about them, but I really haven't thought about how they come into the fold of the story. You know, beyond being the origins of May, probably.
Hmm.
Because I've been so focused on the Sith
Yeah.
that like I'm really not thinking about that.
So before we go to the Sith, I just think people that we haven't really seen too much, because in terms of we don't know a lot about them. We have uh, Jackie Long, Master Soul's new apprentice, which May has a knife to her throat in a couple of
Daphne
scenes.
Keen.
Yeah, Daphne Keane, which she's been extremely excited to with Star Wars or her lightsaber battles. So I think there's also gonna be a little rift or some tension between Saul's current apprentice and his former apprentice with May,
Mm-hmm.
which might be an interesting couple of scenes to see there. Um, Yord Fandar, I don't think he's making it out. Put Yord is the one that's always there with Master Soul. Kind
Doesn't
of,
make any sense.
yeah. She's an acolyte now. So last thing before we go to the dark side users, Renestra Rowe, and I'm getting there. I'm more excited about her now. After I saw the light whip, I saw a picture. I think it was, or another scene that she's there. I don't know. I'm getting excited now for her. How big of a role are you expecting her to have? I went from she'll be there in half a scene to now we've seen her a couple of times.
I
don't.
I'm not sure. I was like on team. She's only gonna be there for a couple of scenes.
Yeah.
And that's it. But like, they've kept showing her.
Yeah. Right.
And they gave us that scene with the light whip. So I think I don't know if she's gonna. I don't think she's gonna be like along in the adventure.
Sure.
Being like one of the primary characters, but I think she's gonna be in it a lot, actually.
Yeah, I think she'll be there. Not in the background. Every time they have to go to Coruscant or something, she'll be there. She'll be like the person they report to, basically. I think she'll be there in about 3 or 4 episodes at least, which is a lot more than I thought she was going to be there. I think the light whip, she's just clearing out the forest. I don't think she's fighting anyone with that light whip. I think she just clean it out so we can just get on with it.
But I'm surprised because at first I was team like she's gonna be there like for one scene, but no, she's kept showing up.
Yeah, it'll be fun. A cool connection to the High Republic. So dark side. Let's go to the dark side user. Who he is? What are you? It's not who are you. What are you? See, just have dark side user, the original Ren. See the Acolyte. If he just a wannabe Sith. Is he a Sith Lord? Is he Darth Plagueis Master? Tenebrous. With his big bulbous head.
You know what? I'll dip my feet. I think it's a Sith Lord.
Okay.
I think it's a Sith Lord, and they're gonna fail miserably.
Is it the Sith Lord or the Apprentice? You think it's the actual Sith Lord?
No,
Maybe
no,
look.
no.
Okay.
No, I think it's a Sith Lord, not the Sith Lord.
Okay. It'll be fun. So it's no one that we know. It's a brand new character. It's no Sith Lord from this era. Not this era, because again, we don't know exactly what.
I think it would be fun if it's. Oh, you know what would be cool if that's the master and the apprentice is someone like Tenebrous, and then the master is like, "Oh, this is our time. We need to reveal ourselves," and they die, and Tenebrous is like, "You loser! I'm gonna continue this."
I got my little plans with this little Hugo the Mask. Yeah. Yep. Little Plagueis over there. I don't know. I still don't know how this Sith, let's just call it a Sith, what he plays in it. I like the idea you told me a couple of weeks ago, like he's trying to get the attention of the Sith, just taking out all these Jedi. But I don't know. I don't know where he falls. Is so interesting right now.
If it's not a Sith, I want it to be an. You know what? I would love if it was a Knight of Ren or Ren himself. I think that would be pretty sick.
What I would love if it's a Ren, being a Knight of Ren or the actual Ren, is that now we connect everything in Star Wars. Like the High Republic connects to the prequel trilogy. Now with Ren, we connect to the sequel trilogy. We know that Luke Skywalker had a run-in with the Knights of Ren. Like everything's connected,
and they've been around for a while. So
yeah,
maybe,
and then we get silver hair Ren picking up and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna follow after you killed him. Now I'm gonna start my own one." So if it is a Sith, let's say it's a Sith, does it all keep quiet? Do all the Jedi die that see him or know that he's a Sith? Or do the Jedi do what Jedi do and kind of keep it under wraps?
No, they're keeping it under wraps. What the hell are you talking about? They're not gonna tell anyone. Like, oh, everyone is in danger. Let's keep it a secret.
That's what they do. A lie for the greater good is still a lie, which Yoda got told in The Living Force, and I loved it. Connects everything.
I'm glad he got it because someone had to tell it to him.
Yep. I think it makes sense that it's a Sith it is Star Wars and it's for the general public. Not everyone knows who the Knights of Ren are. I mean, they might know the Knights of Ren are not the actual Ren, but it don't make sense. Just bring in a Sith. And if we want to start showing the downfall, because we've heard when this show was announced, or as we got closer, that it was gonna get to how the Jedi got to where we meet them in the prequel trilogy. Just taking it day by day, not really knowing what's going out there in the galaxy or what's going on with the people. And of course, that's how Palpatine was able to manipulate them so easy. So it does make sense that it is as if they decide to hide it. Maybe they kill the apprentice, or they think it's a Sith Lord, and then whoever follows just makes, like you said, maybe Tenebrous was the apprentice, and then he goes and starts doing his own thing. And the Jedi are like, well, we took care of that business. We don't need to mention it to anyone. Let's just keep it on the wraps. The Sith are done. We just keep saying it's been thousands of years. And then 150 years from now, we'll come back and bite us in the ass. So we'll see. And maybe we won't know, because we know that season 2 is already, they're writing season 2. So maybe that's when we'll find out who the hell it was. But
yep.
Very exciting.
Yeah, it's very possible that a lot of these questions won't be answered still.
Yeah, sometimes I think, oh, they got to answer all these questions because it's just 8 episodes. No, it's not like all the other Star Wars shows. We're getting more seasons, at least one more season.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So just kind of wrapping up on it. We know Coruscant is showing up. Do you think any other classical planet? Can we go to Naboo, which is very popular in the High Republic? You think we... Give us Naboo. Give us a connection to everything.
I mean, yeah, that'll be cool if we got Naboo.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Well, we go to Tatooine and follow that every show goes to Tatooine. I would love to go to Tatooine just to hear people complain about it. Give me Tatooine, another corner of Tatooine.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Tatooine would play in this story. But if they want to go to Tatooine,
we're just planet hopping. You know, make a quick stop, put a bet on a pod racing.
Master Soul loves pod racing. Like, yeah, you know, my favorite racer is racing. I want to go see them.
Yeah,
and he brings Daphne King. It's like, oh, okay, here we go.
Here we go again.
Another race.
Just take a detour, and then it's Ben Quadinaro, and you'll be happy.
Oh, if we get Ben Quadinaros, it's the best Star Wars show.
All right. Anything else?
No, you basically went through all my questions. My question for you, though, do you think the person in the mask is a Jedi who's gonna be revealed to be a monster? Is it Kalnaga?
It's a bigger one. You got if you got an 8-foot Sith and Kalnaga is just missing. It's like, yeah, you can put something together. Hair coming out of the cloaks. I hadn't thought of him as a Jedi, so I'm gonna say no.
Okay,
but
do you think like any of the Jedi that we're gonna meet is gonna be revealed to be evil secretly?
Just going through that list in my head, no one seems evil or that might be able to turn. I'll say not this first season. I don't know, season 2. I think everyone right now that we've met so far, maybe they're hiding people from us. Open up, because Yorn, if you go through a data bank, he's a very by the book Jedi. That's why I love him. Jackie, she idolizes Master Soul. Indara, unfortunately, she's gonna eat it pretty early, even though we get flashbacks. And Vanessa, I don't think she's turning evil. So I don't know, unless Baratheon kid turns out to be evil. But I don't know.
I was gonna throw out some wild speculation. I was gonna say that I think the Sith Master, like the big bad, is a Jedi.
Okay,
who's playing everyone. That's my huge speculation.
All right, I got my main speculation. You got your big Sith Lord speculation, and I love them. Okay. Every time a Jedi gets revealed as an actual big bad, it's great. So it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome. Because we know, we believe we're going to be getting some flashbacks. So maybe we meet someone in one of those flashbacks. It comes back by the end. All right, that's it for my speculation. If you guys out there have anything else. And I'll get to your comment, Alan, that you sent on Twitter in a minute. But just waiting, just in
The
case.
most important thing about speculation is that when you click play on that first episode, you put everything in a little box and put it in a corner.
Leave it there till the end.
Yep.
All right, so this is when we hear from you guys in Rebel Thoughts.
Well done. You're a rebel now.
All right, so Alan sent this to me yesterday, I think, or this morning. He goes in and said, Alan Michin, follow him over there for all Disneyland related things. He's getting a box from Star Wars with Acolyte goodies. Make sure to tweet those out afterwards, Alan. Congratulations. So happy that you're able to get some of that Acolyte loving. So he writes, we're going to get a Stellan Geos nod when Vernestra imparts wisdom and caution about Padawan attachments to Master Soul about May. Hoping we see Stellan's lightsaber somewhere. I think we're getting Sith artifacts, and May at least is under some kind of dark side influence. What do you think about Alan's comment? Dark side influence, I think that goes to those witches, and I agree in that part.
Can you repeat the entire comment?
Jesus Christ. We're going to get a Stellan Geos nod when Vernestra imparts wisdom and caution about Padawan attachments to Master Soul about May. Hoping we see Stellan's lightsaber somewhere.
Ooh, stunning. Damn, if we get... I don't think they'll go that far, Alan. I think that... Or maybe that's why they released a toy last year.
Yeah. That's fine.
But I don't think it's gonna go that far as to show us like, oh, here's a lightsaber. But I think one of the best ways to like harken back is having Vernestra be like, oh, my former master, that master I had one time 200 years ago, that one. So
everything I know.
I think a Stellan Geos mentioned by Vernestra, I'll say like maybe 55%.
Yeah. Okay. Just during that council chamber scene we talked at the beginning, of all the masters, I mean, all the Jedi council masters talking to Vernestra and says, Stellan Geos would never do something like that.
And someone's like, why are you mentioning this Jedi that we had here like 200 years ago? Like,
half of the council.
That's not even haven't heard in a while. You have Oppo Rensis be like, who?
Yeah. Who's that guy? Oh, the one who didn't know how to swim. All right, so that does. Thank you.
I don't think his problem was that he couldn't swim. I think it had more to do with the massive space station crashing into the ocean.
It could be. You could be right.
Maybe. Unless you're a Wookiee, you don't survive that.
He couldn't find that submerged cave under the area motion, just taking out his hair for Elsa to find. All right, so that does it for Acolyte speculation. I just finished earlier this week reading Temptation of the Force. I'll have a non-spoiler review at some point, and I'll write my spoiler review hopefully this week. The embargo, I think, drops on the 28th, so there's still some time. It doesn't come out till June 11th, so still a while back. Really enjoyed it. Some things sound like, why? And others sound like, oh, my heart.
I think you're not supposed to talk about it.
Okay, so let's go to something else. That's it for Star Wars. All right, so it's been a while since we had Oti here, and a couple of episodes dropped for a show that we both love. So let's go to a world between fandoms. Oh, I knew it. I knew you had it out there for a moment. I thought maybe it's gonna play the giggle, but I was pretty sure it's gonna be the
spice up your life, spice up your life, sing it out.
Oh man, Oti, I talked about it last week. Doctor Who is back. I mean, back again because we got it with the 60th
for the third time.
Yeah. Last week I did a quick recap of the first 3 episodes, or I guess episode 2 to episode 4, since the 60th, the Christmas special. It's coming out episode 1 at the moment. Really enjoyed all of them, but very quickly before we jump into 73 yards that came out yesterday, So overall thoughts on those first 3 Doctor Who episodes?
Oh, I'm really liking it.
Yeah.
It's been a nice return, I think.
Yeah.
Space Babies was just this classic Doctor Who episode. Like
Yep.
it was like a stereotypical Doctor Who episode, which I liked.
Mhm.
It's the kind of episode I usually just like doze off and check back at the end when they tell us what's coming next and how it was all important.
Yeah.
But it was still a fun one. The Devil's Cord was a phenomenal episode. I loved every single like second of it. I loved how Jinx Monsoon was basically what if Missy and the toy maker had a baby. They were phenomenal as that character. So I was very happy. My one gripe with that episode was like I still don't understand why they advertised it as the Beatles episode because A, they're basically irrelevant to the episode. And B, were they the Beatles? They didn't look the part. They didn't sound like the Beatles.
The first 4 guys that they saw walking down the street. Hey, you! Can you put a mop top on and
yeah?
Can
you two harmonize? Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Devil's Cord was phenomenal. Boom was good. Boom was a weird episode. It was a very different episode. Like I like when new scenarios are introduced and the Doctor basically can't move throughout the whole episode. But being Moffat, I was expecting more Blink, Silence in the Library, which, by the way, has nothing to do with the episode not being great because that's not like the standard for a good Doctor Who episode. Sure. But I was just like wanting that to be it, and instead it was like more of a when he was the showrunner, just one of those random episodes we got in those seasons. So. But it was still good. I like that it was very different. So far, so good. I'm really liking Ncuti as the Doctor. He brings a very different energy. He kind of reminds me of Jodie's Doctor a little bit.
So he's very energetic about it, that she was also.
It's funny because Matt Smith is the youngest Doctor, but he's such an old soul, and Ncuti is like just this energy. He wears jeans and a polo in one scene. Like I could not believe what I was watching.
Every episode is wearing something else, and it's fine because
it's awesome. But I'm really liking Ncuti as a Doctor. I still want to see more dimensions, and I know he has it in them, and I know we're gonna get it. But it's been fun, like. Going in this adventure. It's a very, very, very different Doctor, and I'm happy about it. I love Ruby. I love her. Like she's great, and oh boy, 73 yards was awesome.
If you didn't love her before, this is it. You're either in or out at this point with Ruby Sanders, Millie Gibson. She's great. So real quick for me, Devil's Cord is an all-time Doctor Who episode, and Jinx Monsoon as the Maestro, come on, up there as a villain. They were great. Every single scene they stole, it was an awesome episode. And seeing the Doctor being scared when he hears the Gigo is like, oh, we gotta get the hell out of here.
We're getting out.
You can only trick doctors once. I mean, gods once. And you start building this whole mythology of these gods out there. And the Master said that they're coming. So it's set up a lot of what's coming up. So, but 73 yards, let's jump into it. It was promised as something different, this Welsh kind of mystery. And dude, it was pretty freaking horror theme, horror vibes, still about the last 15 minutes.
Like the first half, it was.
I was on the edge of my seat. I was so freaking sad when her mom just starts running away. I'm like, no, what are you doing? But just this old lady and that notion of someone just being far enough that they're not affecting you, but you still see them and they're following you every single way. And when she's going in that train and every single place that she looks, that old ladies, there's like, what the hell is going on? I'm losing my mind at this point. Just that first half was just amazing.
Yeah. I love how it set up the mystery. Like, and as you said, like that first half, it was, the tension was kind of broken for me after the Mad Jack scene. Like when I love that bar scene, how they're all
the bar scene
with the
was
phone.
funny, but it was also
and it built that tension, and then at the end, like, oh no, we're just playing you, like there's nothing going on. But and I love a good Doctor Who horror episode, like when it takes a while to like reveal what's going on, and you're like intention, like what's happening, or these creepy things I'm seeing. So that first half was pretty masterful at that, and how little explanation and how abrupt everything is. They step on this thing, the Doctor disappears. There's this weird woman, and Ruby's like, and that scene when she gets home, I was like, "What's happening?" Like,
she just left.
Like, no, the Doctor's gone, and like, yeah.
But it builds. I mean, I think she says, but I can't remember how long she was there waiting. But the bar scene was great. Build the tension. When you stepped on the fairy circle, what are you doing? Mad Jack, we're all gonna die. It just built, it was great. But also before that, when she tells the freaking old lady that's walking, I just ask if she knows who the Doctor is or where he is, blah, and then she goes, just jacks it and goes running out. Like, what the hell is going on?
Susan twist, by the way. There's always a twist at the end.
There's always a twist at the end. We're in every single episode.
What's up with Susan Twist being in every episode?
I don't know. Is it just a fun thing to keep us guessing? Or and then we got the lady from the anniversary that, you've never seen a TARDIS before. She doesn't have anything to do with me, so I'm leaving. I just said,
she's like, no, I'm out.
Yeah, I've seen too many things already. I'm just heading out. But yeah, also when she gets to the TARDIS and it's, if you don't come back, if you leave me, that's fine. We really haven't known each other for that long, so I understand. But if you come out right now, I would love it so much. It's like, she needs that. She needs that connection, just heartbreaking. And then, like you said, when she goes home, and when you know, I'm going to go there, I have my phone, I'll be fine. You're like, oh no, it's going to happen again. Heartbreak. And then when she calls that last time, it's like, I don't want you. And even your real mother didn't want you. I'm like,
what's going on?
What am I watching? This isn't Doctor Who. I mean, it is. Again, it's what we love about this show. They can have that balance of, we're not caveman here. Of course, we know that you can pay with your phone. But at the same time, break your heart with something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, it's just a Doctor Who, a Doctor-free episode. It's at the beginning, at the end, so it's all on Ruby. She just carries the episode so great. And when she's like, "Okay, I can't get rid of this. I'm already 40 years old. I gotta deal with this freaking lady behind me." Again, it's a different type of Doctor Who episode. I love this theme of abandonment throughout it. But then we get the other twist, this political twist with Mad Jack wants to bomb everyone and get the nuclear coast. So you want to bomb someplace? Just cut that out.
We're not doing that out, right? Yeah. I wanted to mention this because, and going ahead of myself till the end of the episode, but I think my favorite part of this episode is that we learned so much about Ruby without it being like exposition heavy. Like, we see her lose everyone in her life, and she's still so resilient. She's still full of life. Like, it never breaks her spirit. And I think that was like a very powerful thing in this episode, and it makes me think that the season is going to be very heavy for her character, but this was just laying the groundwork that her spirits just can't be broken, or maybe they are broken at some point. We're like, that's how heavy that is.
Which it comes, that scene when she's about to die, or she's in this nursing home or the hospital, and she's like, everyone I've known has left me, but I've never been alone for the past 60 years or whatever, because she's had this person behind her. But it's like, how much has he have to go through a whole life with no one, or everyone that she knows ends up leaving. It snow. I used to make it snow, which has been this long thread in this 4 episodes or 5, and it's like, it's gone. The snow is gone. The magic or her hope. I don't know.
They also did this great thing where we see her dating, and it never works out because she can't get over the person. Like, doing the macarena.
Do you think we'll ever figure out or find out what she was saying, or is that going to be a mystery for the end?
So that's something I wanted to get to. with this
Okay.
episode because I don't know if you want to talk about the ending now or
So I mean, we can apart from so we got the thing with Matt Jack. She kind of uses the old lady to stand next to him, and then he jacks it and just goes running. When she
That's it.
figures out, okay, this is what I need to do, and then just spends the next 20 years or 10 years kind of working with him and getting him to that position.
trying to find a way to
Yeah. And she's
Because-
like, oh, this is it. I did it. You're gone. No, I'm still here with you till the end. And then it's this cycle that's it's just herself as an old person. Now she has to kind of break the cycle to get back to her original timeline or whatever timeline that is.
Yeah.
Which again is something that happened with Unit when Kate shows up.
I love that scene because whenever I love Kate, I love her character, and every time she shows up, I'm like, okay, here we go. This means
Yeah.
business. And then being like, not cut it, we're leaving. I was
Yeah.
like, what?
I love
Not
when
even
I work
Kate
with
could
the
solve
doctor.
it.
Yeah, I work with the doctor, against the doctor, in spite of the doctor. I don't care. I'm here to take care of business.
When Kate showed up, the only thing I could think of was like, she must be so happy that the doctor isn't Capaldi anymore, and she doesn't have to deal with him anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I, that reveal with Jag, and she's like, "No, this is what I was meant to do," and she had that app thing to measure that. That was very tense.
Yeah, that was.
I was gonna mention something, but I forgot. Oh, whatever. What were you talking about?
I don't know. So the ending. So we never find out what she was saying for people just to look back at her and run off. I heard some people say that it's just a mystery, like all good horror, witchcraft, whatever. Just leave it as a mystery. We don't need to know. I kind of want to know because it wasn't. I don't know. It has to be something that connects to who Ruby is, because we have no idea who this person is so far or where she comes from, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to know how it all connects together.
Okay, so here I go. I like a good mystery, and I like a good unsolved mystery. I sometimes think like the answer is less interesting than the speculation and the question. But in this case, like this episode asks so much of us. Like we never find out like what was this all about, where the doctor went,
Yeah,
like, what happened. So maybe it is like part of who Ruby really is, or like I don't know, like maybe those answers are gonna be there, but maybe they're not there like by the finale, and that's what I wanted to get to. Like Doctor Who is something that I really appreciated watching Doctor Who, like from beginning to end, is that the show constantly trusts its audience to trust the show.
Yeah.
Think about all the mysteries surrounding Doctor Who and how long sometimes they take to be resolved. River's song is introduced in Silence in the Library, disappears, then reappears, and you have to wait.
Doctor.
You have to wait so long to find out that she is actually, spoilers, she's actually the Doctor's wife. In the case of that last season with Donna, Rose is showing up throughout the entire season, and like I knew she was coming back because I had been spoiled on that. But like when you're watching it for the first time, you have no idea why she's showing up. What does this mean? And you have to wait until the very ending. Moffat would do this constantly. Like think about the Impossible Girl. Claire is introduced like with Amy and Rory as a Dalek, and then she comes back as a companion, and you have to wait until the end of her story. Well, no, it's not at the end of her story. It's in the Time of the Doctor, is it, or the Day of the whatever one of the specials? Yeah. Where then you learn that she jumped into this thing and showed up like all across the Doctor's life.
Yeah.
So like I don't want people to lose patience. As someone who just watched the show, like. That was something that I really appreciate. Like, the show is constantly like throwing things at you and being like, "Wait, we'll answer that question later." And I think maybe that's the case.
Yeah, I wanted to know because that episode was such a mystery. I wanted to know what why that was happening, what was said for her adoptive mother to just run away. But I think you're 100% right. If you're a fan or a follower of Doctor Who, this is something that will most likely come up at some point in the next episode or 3 years from now.
Yeah, maybe
Will
they
come up as
answer. Maybe they answer next episode in Empire of Death, or
Yeah.
maybe exactly 3 seasons
Season-
from now
yeah.
when Barada dies.
She's the one that takes her or reminds her something. But we
Yeah.
get an episode of where the Doctor was, and then everything connects. We get a separate Doctor Who. The great thing about this show is it can do whatever,
Like,
and then it as long as it fits, it makes sense.
think about the season where Amy gets kidnapped.
Mhm.
Think about that. All of a sudden, in a random
Yeah.
episode, at the very end, the Doctor looks at Amy and he's like, "You're not Amy. You've been playing me this entire season." Like, and he's like, "But I'm gonna find you." And
Yeah.
It's like, where did this
What?
come from?
Yeah, and that's the greatness of Doctor Who. Just wait, like you said, trust the show. Be patient. It will be revealed. And if it's not, then it means it wasn't important. But something like this feels like it's important.
And that's the other thing I wanted to get to, because I've seen a lot of people, be impatient and be like, "Oh, this is just a cop out. Like, they didn't give us anything." And I just want to remind people of patience and how everything gets resolved. But I also want to remind you of cop outs, because Doctor Who is filled with cop outs, especially like not with Russell T Davies, but that freaking Stephen Moffat era is full of cop outs. Like, remember the hybrid, how it was suddenly introduced and made this very important thing, only to be like, yeah, no, whatever, this doesn't really mean anything. Remember Clara, how she died, but not really, she's still alive in her last second of life. She's around. So yeah, remember, cop outs are a thing in Doctor Who.
Dude, I was watching Boom, and I'm waiting for Otti to yell
The cop out.
Mofism
No,
cop out. I was waiting.
I don't think there was any though.
Yeah,
Or was there? I don't know.
I don't know, but when Ruby got shot, we know she's alive.
I know. I knew. I didn't.
But
think
still,
she was gonna
I know.
Moff
But
out,
like,
cop outs.
if this was like episode 7, then I'll be like, oh my god, they just killed Ruby, because we've heard that supposedly she was only gonna be there for one season.
I mean,
But happened in the
literally
second
gasped.
episode.
I gasped when that happened. I was like,
Yeah.
my baby girl.
Yeah, I only known her for 2 episodes, but if anything happens to her. All right, I think that's a good place to end it for today.
I'm very happy with Doctor Who. And if
It's
you're happy,
forever.
follow Batwolf_FNI.
Batwolf. New episodes on Mondays or Tuesdays. One of those.
Tuesday, Batwolf Tuesdays, Alberto.
Sorry, I try to listen sometimes. Especially when you badmouth me on your first one or your second one to say that, oh, he didn't know it was dropping at 7. And then you didn't even know that 2 episodes were dropping that day. But it's okay. It's your show.
I had no idea.
I'll take the blame. All right, well, thank you to everyone that showed up today. Thank you, Odi, for coming back after your vacation. And the Acolyte is coming not next week, but the following week. We'll start our Acolyte recaps. Read everything you can from Tessa Gratton. Hopefully, we'll have her here at some point in the next month or so. And we'll see what else happens in the world of Star Wars. Oti, anything else before we jump out?
No, I'm very excited for the Acolyte. I'm very happy with Doctor Who, and if you're interested in both, follow me, because I'll be talking about them in Twitter. Yay.
There's a lot. All right. Next week, I don't know if there's Star Wars news will come back. If not, who knows? We'll take another week off. I don't know what we
you
can
have
talk
to
about.
You have to take advantage of when I'm here and
I
available.
know.
And next week I'll be available.
All right. We'll just be here. Maybe we'll talk about just Doctor Who stuff and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Love that.
Oh, you
movie.
saw it?
Dude, I
was
saw
good.
it.
It was good.
I already said we're leaving. I love it. One of my favorite movies this year.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
See you next week.
We got a Lord of the Rings trailer.
Rings of Power coming in August. See ya.